So as Puma has stopped looking homeless, Caesar is still having problems with his girlfriend. The woman looks like a fish. I was hoping Rock would have moved on from Crystal, but he likes a poor choice. Okay, so Walt's still fired. However, what do you mean you have an opening? Walt never worked. He could barely keep the floor clean. You could get a Roomba to replace him. But we gone proppy up Tati. And she still got the promomo before Donna. That dusty toilet seat. Oh, I forgot. Donna was whooping Alex's ass when we left off. So he's back and he looks unbruised. Alex is trying to cover, but Puma said, she was whooping your ass, bro. So now Donna's inserting herself in Caesar's baby mama drama by liking comments from the sidelines. Donna, you've been on this show all this time and you still ain't got nothing going for yourself. You are a shit Ray Whitfield. See, said Donna, we wish you the best, but you can no longer darken our doors or have coitus in our commode. Donna crying, they're trying to force me out and I'm trying to be a boss husband. When have you tried to grow? When have you tried to be a boss? You can't even boss yourself around. You couldn't even get your art on point. So Tati's family is moving out of her island of misfit toys home. Girl, Tati was trying to move kilos? What the hell? Well, I guess they really ain't paying you nothing. Ooh, you stupid. Meanwhile, Caesar sends a cease and desist to his foul fish. Oh, now we got Funk Flex and his wife. It sounds like he got some TMJ. I don't think it's gonna be that serious. Oh, Teddy got a dog. Well, it'll be good that something will get the crumbs out of that beard. For Donna to not be on the show, she's sure popping up on this phone a lot. So Donna gonna try to apologize to Bae so we won't think she's racist, but we know you are. Donna, you really don't know how to apologize, but then again, you don't know how to tattoo. I like the idea of separating Rock and Crystal because I don't want to look at them booed up every 10 minutes. Oh, Lord. So now Crystal getting into it with Funk Flex because Funk Flex had to cover for her. Spider, why are you getting so upset? So now Rockton got in it and Spider's getting all roid rage. So they had to get Funk Flex outside. Oh, we got a skirmish. Rock, you almost got your braids snatched clean off your head. Rock said I had to speak up and say something. I couldn't look like a pussy yet again. And you don't. You look more like a simp. A simp. Tati and I see it the same way. It was Funk Flex's roid rage. It didn't have to get physical. You're the one who skirted us to skirmish. Oh, Lord, now Crystal's just crying because she's got anxiety. I'm as confused as Puma. Child, so as Funk Flex says that Crystal is trying to flip it on him by crying, of course, Rock gotta get up to defend his woman. And we almost get a skirmish again. He gonna snatch your braids off your head, and I'm telling you, you're gonna be walking around bald. So Caesar's going to hold a presser to combat his baby mama's rumors. He gonna clear his name on the shade room. So Bae's doing a tattoo wondering why the toilet known as Donna came at her with the Asian hate, and here she comes to apologize. So Donna come in trying to overtalk Bae, talking about, I still think everybody's wrong. Are you talking about that one statement? Oh, I've been sick of you. I've always said she wasn't shit. Donna did not just say, I love all people. No, you don't. You can't even love yourself. So this was a whole Goodbye Donna episode. Toodles toots. There have been no ups since you've been here, just downs. You're walking away with nothing. You never even got that bottom tooth done. Well, that was the shit. I'm gonna see you soon for something. So we open the episode with the sheriff finally looking in on the drunk father whose family got murdered by the ghost. So he asks him if he wants something to eat and tell him what happens tonight isn't personal. So they're gonna leave him out for the ghost too? Meanwhile, with the high guy that was handcuffed to the car that then got strapped to the bed, they telling him the next morning, yeah, you trapped in town and monsters come out at night and that's who killed your friend, even though it was the crazy sister. But they don't know that yet. So he thinks this is one of those murder mystery weekends. He's like, y'all gotta be kidding with this. So he takes some heifer's bike and go off to try to solve the mystery. However, we got the little boy looking out the window and he sees one of them ghost people still in the daytime. With the deputy, he trying to get his mama to get some rest. Back at Cromwell House, we got the whole family together again. They making bird noises to entertain their little boy because they got some books for him from the RV. Meanwhile, the daughter's looking at them like, yeah, this is a nice happy moment, but how are we getting out of here? So the family got to choose whether they're going to stay in Colony House or move to town. I'd stay in the Heezy. I like the little commune tea they given. But Lord, but now we got the guy who's exploring the town looking for clues, and he goes in the diner and it's just irritate. But I want to know where they're getting the food for this diner. Lord, but now we got the crazy sister and her brother's like, I thought you were going to stay home. And she says, I need to help. Honey, you didn't help enough. So we got the priest showing the family around town and he telling them about nailing their windows shut. Kids is more susceptible to the ghosts, so don't let them get near the windows. And the woman sees this little metal structure and she asks what it is. And he says, oh, that's the box, our only form of punishment here. So I guess that's where they're going to put the drunk pappy at night. Oh, they offering them the dead family's house since they're going to get rid of Frank tonight in the box. Girl, they left the blood on the wall, blood on the sheets. Really? That's nasty. How you going to offer somebody a bloody house? So Tabitha run out the house. The wife is just like, this is crazy. The husband's like, well, if he had followed the rules. And she's like, why are you believing these people? I'd be a little hesitant too. He said, hon, I was in the RV last night hearing them scratching at the window pane. They want to knock on your door. Tap on your, tap on your, tap on your window pane. And we are stuck. So the sheriff take the drunk dad to where his daughter used to swing and give him his last few moments. However, over at Colony House with Ellis, he making a crutch for the son. Lord, but the annoying guy who thinks this is still a game is talking to the deputy. The deputy just nodding like, yep, keep looking for clues, fool. Okay, so he's asking him, all right, if this is some mystical place that's cut off, where y'all getting this breakfast food? And the deputy said, we don't know where the chickens and the cows come from. And why don't the chicken and the cows get eaten at night by the monsters? I just put a talisman in some cars and try to get the hell out. So now we got the young kid bothering one of the older residents. He's like, look, you supposed to be inside. Go inside. Because if you don't go back inside, I'm going to get in trouble for having you outside. Your parents going to yell at me, and then I ain't going to get no more peaches from the heifer who's supposed to be watching you. But then he asks him, well, do you know the little boy who lives out here? And he's like, oh, you already seen the ghost? So he tell him he checking to see if the trees moved. However, the heifer who's supposed to be watching him finally come out. I don't know if I trust this old guy, because he said if you see that friend of yours, tell him Victor says hello. He shouldn't be talking to them fools. However, back with the guy who thinks that this is still a game, he wandered into a basement, and underneath a boulder, there's this guy who looks dead, but then turns and looks at him and starts screaming. It looked like this is dead friend Toby who's screaming at him. But he walk out the cellar still laughing, really thinking this is all elaborate cosplay. However, back with the sheriff, he with his son in the church, and he praying over whether or not to put drunk Frank in the box. I don't know, because I mean, the window should have been nailed shut, but the mama couldn't have nailed the window shut. I'm gonna have to put the blame on both of them. Also, badass kids. But now he don't want to use the box. He was like, it was supposed to be a deterrent. Damn, the preacher like, oh, well, if you ain't going to use the box this time, what happens next time? We're going to have lawlessness. You know what? I ain't mad at the priest. The priest like, okay, you want mercy, baby? I can give you mercy. But you built a guillotine in the town square. What's going to happen when people realize it's an empty threat? He got a point. He got a point. Maybe you shouldn't have built the guillotine. So the sheriff gets in the box himself and he's like, no, I can't do it. So he tells them there's a little shack down by the river. Here's a talisman. Make a little life for yourself out there. We ain't gonna kill you. But we can't have you in the village. We're banishing you. Banishing's pretty bad. That's like jail. However, now we're at the choosing ceremony. Are they gonna pick the town or the heezy? But before we get to picking, the sheriff says, while I have everybody here, we're on a fine line between savagery and consequences. But then Frank come up and say, no, I'm ready to go. I was a bad dad. I just want to get to heaven and see my girls. Don't forget what y'all living for. But then the annoying guy who thinks that it's a game starts mouthing off. And so the sheriff makes him pick his house first. So he picks Colony House. But then the deputy says, come here, little guy. Let me show you something. Since you think you're going to ruin us and you think this is really a game, he going to have to put some bodies on him. Lord, so everybody got to pick, including the kids. And they daughters say, I want to be in Colony House when the rest of the family wants to be in the town. Let her ass go over there. It ain't that far. So now they arguing over whose house they gonna be in. The leader of Colony House is like, look, these were your rules. She chose. Harold's trying to not break up the family. Then the mama says she's gonna go to Colony House. So the daughter is settled on Colony House. The sheriff said, look, my son gonna look after it. It's gonna be fine. So we head on home before the sun goes down. But now we got the guy who thinks it's a game with the deputy. Yep, the deputy take him over to the cemetery. He see the bodies and realize this isn't a game, boo. But as night falls, we gotta put Frank in the box. So the family moving into the dead folks' home. And we end it with Frank getting torn apart by the monsters in the box. Well, I'm gonna see you next week for the shit. But let's get to the housewives of Jersey.